First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these days as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and of course,
twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. Hello, Twitch Room.
Yes, hello, Twitch Room. Hello, Universe. Hello, upNXTs. We are Braden and Davie, the BDE, Tuesday nights. We are your NXT friends. And even though we may now be in different parts of the world, that's what we still are. We are still friends. How are you, good sir?
I am good. It is. I'm just trying to get used to this new schedule. It's 3:20 in the morning, but at least I get to talk about a fantastic show, right? Right.
Yeah. What a great way to spend your mornings is this show. Yeah. That's not how is it?
Sorry, what's that?
So how is it over there?
It's good. Yeah. It's. I mean, the weather's been lovely compared to how it was in Toronto, and I heard there's been another kind of snowstorm over there or something recently. So I've been loving that. I've just been catching up with some friends, catching up with family. I've been applying for jobs. I start a new job on Thursday.
Whoa.
Yeah. Working at a bar. I'm trying to get another job as well to kind of fill the days. But yeah, I'm hustling. And yeah, it's been all right. I went to Birmingham on Saturday to watch the Royal Rumble, which was a mixed bag. But, you know, watching it in a bar with friends always makes it a lot better. I think I've kind of shared the same sentiments as everyone. Like some fun things in the show, but the men's match was pretty trash and a bit predictable, the whole thing. But you know, it's definitely a lot better than just watching it stuck in lockdown. You know, you had friends over as well, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think I basically was like, look, me and you were supposed to do a Rumble like party at a bar in Toronto. We were going to get lots of people to come, and it was going to be awesome. And then the whole Omicron thing and all that, yada, yada, yada. I'm just so over talking about COVID. But
me too.
I was like, you know what? Since you were going away, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So I invited some friends over to watch the Rumble. One of our good friends, Dan, he was involved as well. He came over, but a bunch of the boys, and we watched the Rumble. And you know what? It's the fun event to watch with people. I think like you can do, you know, numbers games and all sorts. And one of my buddies, Tom, brought a friend, and the guy won both Rumble pools. Meaning we did one for the men's, and we did one for the women's, and this guy won both. And he said it was his birthday the day after, so maybe it was a birthday good luck charm or something.
Good omen or something. Yeah,
we all just wanted to murder him by the end. But I enjoyed parts of the women's Rumble. It had some fun cameos and stuff, but the men's one, it did like lack. However, I still found some glimmers of fun stuff that I liked. It could have been that one of our friends brought a dab rig and set it up in the BDE apartment. That could have made the match a lot, because by the time Bad Bunny came out, I was losing my mind. When Bad Bunny had the Rey Mysterio moment, that was awesome. That was so cool. Did you see? He's giving him the mask from the match now.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
He took it off, wore a towel while the cameras are rolling, and gave it to Bad Bunny and said, like, yo, so you know real, recognize real.
Yeah, I just felt that men's match, it kind of lacked the surprises, really. The Bad Bunny thing was cool, but it lacked the surprises and just really highlighted like how there's such a lack of stars in WWE now. And just, I always like the, in past years when you have the final four and it's kind of, you normally have a couple of sort of, I don't know, veterans and then a couple of people who are like, oh, this is the future. And you didn't have that at all. It was just Brock throwing people out. And yeah, the men's match was definitely disappointing. And I did find it funny how, watching the TV the last few weeks, and I did mention this on our upNXT Rumble, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second, but I found it funny how the last few weeks they've been building up this Ray and Dominic story, and they're like, well, you know, I might throw you out, Dad, I might throw you out. And then it's pretty much like they gave Dominic's script to Bad Bunny to just go in there and do this Rey Mysterio stuff, which was very odd. But I really did enjoy Seth Roman. I thought the Shield entrance thing that got me, and just Roman's reaction to it. I think he's someone who, considering when he was the babyface and the whole suffering succotash and stuff, and we'd really criticize on how poor he is at promos, I think his subtleties now with his facial expressions are so good. And I think when he eventually goes to Hollywood one day, he'll be a great villain in a movie or something. But I did really enjoy that Seth Roman match, even down to Seth's style of wrestling being more like he was back in the day. I thought that really worked for me and kicked the show off nicely. And I enjoyed Brock and Lashley just as kind of a quick, like, two heavyweights, just big meaty men slapping meat, you know. But it was just a lot of predictable stuff throughout the night. And yeah, definitely by the end, it's like, you had the chance tonight. You had the chance to kind of pull me back in, and you didn't really do it.
Yeah, it felt like a step up from, because it's the Rumble. Again, it's always fun. So even though, you know, you had some, the lack of stars definitely was like hard, because, you know, Madcap Moss and a few of these other people, it's like, come on, you didn't even get any like legends or like proper ones. There was stuff like that, but I didn't mind the title matches, actually. So I did think they were pretty good as well. But probably the best WWE show I've watched in quite a while. So I've watched Survivor Series? Yeah.
Cameron. Sorry. Cameron. Can we just get that out there?
Cameron.
It was a pussy popping Rumble, wasn't it? With Cameron.
That's right. That's what it was.
I'm not being gross. That was her cameo for me. For people that don't know, she wished me a pussy popping birthday before I get cancelled right now.
Yeah.
Me and Cameron, we have inside jokes, Cameron and I.
I like seeing WWE legend Summer Rae. That was awesome. Yeah, there was still some fun, but it's always good. I liked Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable. I think shoot wrestling for about 30 seconds while someone else's number was counting down. It cut to the ring, and the ring was busy. It was full. And Ziggler and Chad Gable just start wrestling, but it looked like they were actually like just having a match.
Right.
Like just having a scrap or something. It like, look for this clip. It's quite interesting. But I
was reading today that apparently the kind of they had loads of backups because of COVID, right? So you don't know if someone might have to pull out or whatever. But the script kept on being kind of ripped up for the actual matches, and like a bunch of the rest like didn't even know who they were going to eliminate and stuff like that. Whereas normally it's pretty meticulously laid out, and I think that really showed, because you just saw a lot of the time it was like, as you said, like Dolph and Chad were like, all right, shall we just wrestle here? Because a lot of it was just kind of punch in, kick in, like not really doing those spots. And obviously there's unfortunate stuff like the Kofi thing, which it's actually surprising that hasn't happened before. And I hope they can do something clever with it and kind of bring it into story maybe. But unfortunate things like that. But yeah, there just wasn't really those big moments laid out throughout that match, which did bring it down a lot.
Yeah, like Rumble, it was still fun, and I think there was opportunities to make it even better. Just easy things that you could have done, but they just chose not to. I think it's a bit of a piss off with like Ronda draws so much more attention and so much more eyes and the casual fans and all that, but I didn't think she looked that good. So I'm like, all right.
No, I mean, obviously it's been 3 years, but I agree. Her strikes didn't. I think back to that first match she had with kind of Triple H and Steph, and it was surprising. It was like, oh, actually, she looks pretty good. But I agree, she kind of, I don't know, looked like she was holding back or something. Just it didn't. It looked fake, right? Her offense definitely looked fake, and maybe that's.
I know this. Yeah.
I totally imagine it's hard when you're so used to your job of the last, like, from before being like, yeah, I want to punch people in the face, like boxers and MMA fighters, like they've got to pull back because they don't want to actually hurt people. But her offense definitely looked a lot weaker than it did from her last run, from what I remember. Another thing, I just feel we've criticized the music in WWE recently as well, but I didn't recognize anyone's song. And every time someone came out, it shot to the crowd. So I'm just listening and I go, I don't know who it is. At least if you show the screen and the Titantron with it, but no one's music was recognizable. So it took about 10 seconds from after the buzzer went down till you go, all right, it's Madcap Moss. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the music is very generic. I think maybe they don't want to go with some songs. They've changed people's songs and they don't want to get the old ones back. I mean, some surprises we didn't get in the Rumble that we thought we would see. No Johnny last week on AEW and no Johnny in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. No NXT people. No one in the Rumble. No Mandy Rose. No Bron Breakker. No Ciampa. No Pete Dunne. Nothing. No NXT people in the Rumble. So yeah, I guess showing that, hey, it's developmental. Why would they be in the Rumble? Is kind of, I guess, what
I honestly think, and I'm gonna pat ourselves on the back here. Of the 3 Rumbles that took place this weekend, we had the best surprises, Braden.
Yeah, I think our Rumbles surpassed both Rumbles from WWE this weekend because we had a crazy Rumble, and you should check it out if you weren't there live. We did this last Sunday on our Twitch. Shout out everyone on the twitch.tv/upNXT podcast. Go follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Go help us out. Not only do we do Tuesday nights with NXT and Wednesday with Dynamite shows, reviews, but we did this show, and wow, it was a lot to take on. You did it once before, Davie. You had 30 people last year, and this year we did it again. 30 people. A few were taken out backstage. But we had friends. We had foes. We had special guests. I mean, the special pop attractions were bigger pops than any from the Rumbles from WWE. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the replay's all on YouTube now. So youtube.com/upnext. So watch it on there. Hit that subscribe button. And our lovely friend Dickie Bird has time-stamped everything. So you can... it's a long show. It's a 3-hour show. So if you want to skip through to certain entrants and stuff, it's all there for you up on YouTube. So highly recommend going check that out because I think we're both rather proud of that. And unfortunately, spoilers, Braden, we're not going to UpNXT Mania. You and I, it's not happening.
I think we discussed, Davie, that we are. We need to stop paying attention to Triple H and whatever he's done with NXT, Davie, and we need to focus on more people like Jeff Jarrett, Cody Rhodes, Triple H. No, we're moving away. We need to book ourselves, Davie. We don't need to win Rumbles to book ourselves and stuff. So that's why
this is true.
I know me and you didn't win the Rumble. I really wish you had my back, but it's okay. It's fine. I think it's time me and you work together as a team, as a unit, and maybe go for some tag gold.
Yeah, we do need gold. Definitely. I want to show off my gold to my family before bringing it back to Canada, right?
That's right. Bring it back. Bring it home. Well, we might be bringing it home because UpNXT Mania, yes, we have a winner. I don't want to say who it was, but you should go listen to the replay because there was some interesting people in this thing. We had some surprises. We had people we didn't know. We had our friends, and there was swerves, there was crazy moments, face-to-faces, cowboys. There was everything. And yeah, I made an audio. Well, Dickie sent us an audio version that I put up on the Patreon as well there. But the video replay is free on our YouTube. And Dickie, yes, timestamped it. Go check this out. It's so funny. It's 3 hours. I know it's a lot, but it was pretty damn funny. And we put a lot of work into it. So go check it out, guys. Holy cow. It was fun. I mean, who knew that Trent's mom Sue would just show up in our Rumble, Davie? I've said too much. I've said too much. Yeah. And beyond,
one of many surprises of the night. Yeah.
Just craziness.
Shout out Sue. Rumble. What a lovely woman.
Shout out Sue. She's a very sweet lady. And shout out you guys for listening and supporting us and letting us do these fun, silly things, because the live Twitch crowd was pretty fun, and getting involved and everything like that is always a blast. And of course, Dickie with all the videos and visuals and stuff. I know he's getting amped for upNXT Mania in a few months. So look forward to sharing some details about that in the near future as well. But we will get to NXT. There's like a lot to talk about in what we do, because yes, the upNXT Rumble's come and gone, but I mean, we've got a new month.
It's a new month.
Today. Yeah, it's a new month. Yes, it is, because today is February 1st, which means it's a whole new month on the Patreon. And this month on our Patreon is looking pretty stacked. We're celebrating the love all month long, aren't we, David?
Oh, yes, we are. And we start off with I don't know, the love of friendship, I guess, with our Rush Hour 1998 review, a bit of a buddy cop film going on there for an episode of Up Yours. We actually recorded this one today, yeah.
Yeah, we recorded it today. I mean, today is Chinese New Year, and it's the start of Black History Month. So Rush Hour, the perfect meeting of the minds there. That's going to be out this weekend. World Champ patron Jake from the Windy City picked this movie, but always fun time talking about Rush Hour. I mean, that's a classic. And we debate buddy cop movies and everything. But yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear that, because super fun movie. Love Jackie Chan. Can talk about him all day long. What else do we have coming up?
Well, because it's Valentine's Day coming up. In the past, we did Bret Hart for Valentine's Day. Well, we thought this time we'd do the Heartbreak Kid. We're doing an episode of Best Match Ever, looking at his first singles run in WWF. So we're looking at the best of Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, from 1992 to 1998.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, so that'll be I think next week or so. We're just listing some shows that we have coming, and yeah, so we're specifically sure we've never done this for someone where it's like only a few years of their career. This is before he lost the smile.
Yeah, well, up until losing the smile, I think Shawn Michaels obviously has three if you take the tag run, just very distinct moments in his career, and we tend to like to focus on about 5 or 6 matches. So it'll be nice to look at the first one, and then down the line, when we're thinking of other shows to do, we can do his return run. But also have episodes of reviews from the 6. We're going to be covering WCW Super Brawl 2, which I believe is celebrating I think it's the 30th anniversary of this one. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of No Way Out 2002, with the NWO making their WWE debut. We're doing an episode of Up Yours, looking at Les Mis, joined by Chris Leone for that one. It's my favorite musical. I know Braden hasn't ever seen it, so this should be an interesting one. And
is it about hookers?
There are some in there. There are some in there for sure. So you'll like that bit. And this film is about as long as the upNXT Rumble, just to make you feel really excited about this one. And we're going to be going back to the world of Star Wars to review season 1 of Book of Boba Fett, which I don't think either of us. I've caught the first couple of episodes, but being kind of caught up with the move. So we're going to be going back and watching season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett, and then all our usual stuff like What's Next, where we go back and look at retro NXT reviews. But you can see the whole schedule up on our Twitter and up on the Facebook page. And obviously it's this plus about 400 reviews in the back catalogue. So go and check it out. $5 a month, become a North American patron at patreon.com/upNXT.
Yeah, hey guys, we do upNXT and BD Elite. That's tomorrow night, talking about Dynamite, and that's our free shows as well as Shot in the Dark. But if you like what you hear and you want to hear more of us, well, we do all these shows coming out this month on the Patreon. But like you said, Davie, there's so many in the back catalog. We've done so many shows, all the best matches ever, Jerry Lynn, RVD, Flair, Steamboat. We do all the retro NXT reviews. I know we're just in the era of Charlotte made her debut, which is pretty cool, but we're seeing all cool debuts of stars. And you mentioned that Boba Fett stuff. I haven't watched it, but I love the Mando, so I'm sure I'll like this. And it's just so many podcasts, guys. And we appreciate all you people listening and supporting out there, and making sure that you follow the Facebook group too. Join that group because we're posting funny, ridiculous, silly things in there, and the Twitter as well. But yeah, so many things. Hey, Dynamite is tomorrow, and I'm kind of pumped about it because they announced a certain match that just sounds awesome. Jon Moxley versus Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, this is crazy. I saw this during NXT. Brian Kendrick requested his release recently, and I just heard it was. I just saw the news that he got granted his release today, and already he's going to be working a match in AEW. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. The Brian Kendrick.
And I don't think, I'm trying to think if they'd have crossed paths in WWE. They were there at the same time, but Kendrick was in the Cruiserweight division at the time. So be interesting. I'm sure they've maybe fought on the Indies or something before, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have. But what's even more interesting is the storyline that they've kind of just subtly dropped little breadcrumbs to is the Danielson feud. So I mean, Moxley
that
and
makes
Kendrick.
a lot of sense. I didn't even put that together. Yeah, Danielson being like one of Kendrick's best friends, training together and all that. Oh, I didn't even put that together. That makes so much sense.
I mean, I think Moxley will have the advantage considering Brian Kendrick got thrown down some stairs off a roof. What was he thrown down? Down some stairs.
He was thrown down some stairs and then
he was just killed.
Yeah,
murdered.
So
I'm excited for that match. So
that'll be good.
Talk all about that.
And then of course MJF Punk is tomorrow.
Oh right, that's true. Yeah, Did you happen to watch Dynamite last week?
I did. I watched both NXT and Dynamite last week. Yeah,
because the ladder match, I keep watching that spot with Sammy.
It's nuts.
And then clearly your boy Trey Baxter, Blake Christian, was like, "Hold my beer," and then did that that video that I saw from PWG. I saw it on Twitter because someone filmed it, but it's the craziest cutter where one guy's jumping into the crowd and the other guy in midair. Blake Christian cutters the guy into the stack of people there. Oh man,
insane.
I don't know why PWG is still in this archaic way of streaming. I know it makes it cool and must watch and all this stuff, but it's like the spoilers come out once it's happened and that's it. If you just stream it, I'd gladly give you money. I just don't understand. Yeah, I know. I just wonder if they try and keep it just a hot ticket as a live experience to go to. And I do think when we watched the GCW The World the other week, personally, there's something about indie shows that I just don't enjoy watching at home as much. That's fair.
There's something to do with kind of the grittiness of just being there. That indie wrestling rather than kind of television produced wrestling, which obviously is shot and the wrestlers are performing more to the camera than the actual crowd. So maybe they're just trying to keep that and preserve that sort of live experience. But I agree that there's money on the table that they're losing out on, absolutely. But you just got to wait 6 months for the DVD.
Yeah, I'll make sure I order the DVD.
Yeah,
6 months later when all these guys are somewhere else now. But it's cool that they do shows and I support them. I'm just saying, I'm like, I want to watch these things
for sure, absolutely.
Let me watch them. But what else is? I feel like it's been forever.
I know it has been a while.
What's happening in wrestling? What's happening? Nothing. Everything else cool. Just Danhausen.
that was okay, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw the guy from Slipknot was going off about how NXT sucks. He was at a concert. Like, this guy's performing at a concert, and he's like, "Yo, NXT is just like not doing too well anymore."
Well, he's done some themes. Well, he did the old thing, didn't he?
Yeah. What about Nia Jax saying no to a Rumble surprise return?
Oh, I didn't even see that. I saw apparently the Iconics turned it down as well. But
I guess they would if they're like, you fired us and now you want us to come back for this.
Yeah, I imagine we did just review Rush Hour, and I imagine there's a lot of them who are like, you know, at the end of the film where he's like, "Hey, come and be an FBI agent." It's like, no, fuck you. You you said no earlier, so no. I think there's probably a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing when you've got to fill 2 30-person Rumbles every year, and you fire a load of your roster, and there's a pandemic going on when people can go at any moment. It's you're gonna have to look elsewhere, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, there's a few other people that didn't show up in the Rumble, but that will be free agents this week, because I noticed one of my favorites is going to be wrestling all over GCW. You know, you're excited too, for Grand Metalik. He's changed his name, but he's on the Indies now, and he's going to be running rough shot on all the lucha stuff. But there's other people like Ember Moon, Keith Lee, Biff Busick, Oni Lorcan. I think he's out there too. I'm wondering if we see any of these names start to pop up in other places sometime soon, because I think tomorrow is when a bunch of them are free.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's AEW's pretty stacked right now. It's not, I wouldn't say it's really a good time to be out there at the moment, because that roster's very bloated, and I think we're starting to feel the bloat a little bit in AEW. But some of them, you're like a Keith Lee or whatever, you're going to want to pick up. So I don't know, it'll be interesting. But I feel AEW at the moment, it's just every week we have someone else joining them.
Yeah, that's true. They do that a lot. But I think out of anyone, I would like to see Keith Lee show up there out of that list. Well, should we talk about some NXT?
I think so.
Let's talk about some NXT from Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. And, well, we start off with some recaps of the Royal Rumble. I forgot to mention, what's his name? Jackass dude.
Oh,
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
Hitting that Shibata forearm.
Yeah, had a great forearm.
That guy was tough, bro.
Yeah.
All Japan superstar Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I heard that Jackass is going to be his last one because he got a brain injury. But then he's doing the Royal Rumble. No, then what is he doing? What
lit up by AJ Styles.
Yeah, no, he was lighting. AJ didn't know what to do.
AJ did his combo, didn't he? He did his palm back fist kick thing. Yeah. Clothesline, yeah.
Still didn't look as tough as
that forearm.
I mean, and Knoxville pointed at the sign, so that was good. We start off NXT with Imperium, with Don't Call Him Walter, Gunther, and Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner, and they're going up against the Diamond Mine, which is Brutus and Julius Creed and Roderick Strong. We have Eichner in here with Julius here, who hits like a fireman senton slam. Bartel tags in and starts hitting a series of kicks in the corner while yelling 9, and then hits a butterfly suplex and then like a flying second rope torpedo elbow for a near fall. Gunther comes in and he gets Walter chants from the crowd here, obviously. He starts beating these guys around, tags Bartel back in, who locks in a money clip because Imperium is so money. A popular move these days. Julius then hits this like huge headlock. It's like a headlock guillotine overhead suplex thing. Roddy then comes back in and hits a backbreaker on Eichner as they go to picture in picture. When they do, it's the Imperium beating down on Roddy, tagging in and out. But then when we come back, Brutus tags in and hits a series of these side slams, a side kick to Gunther. But this showdown between Brutus, who's the more bigger one, and Gunther was pretty great until Gunther finally gets his hands on him and chops him down. hits a power bomb, stacks him, and Gunther, as they say, wins his match here with Imperium.
Yeah, I mean, this was the match of the night. By far, this was the match I was most looking forward to tonight. Okay, we're calling him Gunther now, but this was still Walter doing Walter things with his big chops and stuff. I really enjoyed Roddy and Eichner going at it. Like, Roddy came in with just so much energy and hitting those backbreakers and his kind of locomotive like forearms and stuff. I thought he looked great. All six of these guys are awesome. I wonder, we've had two big losses now with Roddy. I kind of hope it's sort of addressed in story, because I worry that maybe Diamond Mine might become a bit of a like a Legado, who are an entertaining team but just seem to lose all the time. But maybe going forward with the Dusty Classic, I'd like to see Diamond Mine win this and maybe be the ones to take it off of Imperium to get a bit of steam. But still, the question is, like, what are we doing with Roddy right now?
Yeah, it's almost as if like they're going to kick him out. Is that like what it's going to lead to? Is that something that's going to happen? Because he wasn't the one who was pinned, though. So I mean,
he wasn't the one that was pinned. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but
true.
It's just two big losses a couple of weeks in a row now with these guys.
I would like to see them win as well. The wrestling from these Creed brothers is very impressive. I do not know how WWE can mess them up. I know that's a funny thing to say in wrestling, because that happens a lot. But honestly, they're awesome.
Both these teams seem money for me, and I think would do better as a unit going up to the main roster. I think it's been a while since we've had any sort of kind of real stable on the main roster. I can't think of anything really going at the moment. Maybe nothing's coming to my head, but I think a stable to kind of shake up a Raw or SmackDown could be good, and you could go with either of these teams. And I think both benefit all being together. I think Roddy is definitely someone you worry about on his own, and he needs to be with other people. I think, especially in the land of the Giants on a Raw or SmackDown. And Walter, it's just whether Vince would get him. But I think having three mean Europeans going up could work. But for now, while they're in NXT, as long as we can see them wrestle and have more of this rather than all the other shit we're about to talk about, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm happy that I get to see Walter. I think Imperium have been impressing us without Walter for quite some time. Yep. They're still like one of the last remaining black and gold brand people here, so it's kind of interesting. But I could see them being a main unit if they are used properly on the main event. That would be pretty awesome. And I think I could say the same about these Diamond Mine. I know it's early for these Creed brothers, but the wrestling is kind of there. The look is getting there. I prefer when they maybe get more of a Kurt Angle looking gear than maybe like kind of high school wrestling gear. But like, there's a difference. Like, it doesn't look quite prim and proper as some of the other gear, but I think it's coming. I think they're coming along, and they're still so new, but so early. I'm already like, whoa, these guys look like awesome. Like, they look like Shelton and Brock, or Shelton and Charlie Haas, like back in the day when they were still starting out. So it's quite interesting.
And a team like Imperium's only going to complement them. You know, they're like this was a nice little kind of, what did it say, like wet your whistle a little before seeing what the eventual kind of hopefully tag team title match will be after the Dusty Classic.
Yeah, it's kind of letting you get a little taste of what is to come. Hopefully we get that match, because now we want to see it. So they did a good job. Definitely the highlight of the show. That's it. Good night. Take care. Bye. Be safe.
Ahoy.
Was it? Yeah, we go to LA Knight, and he's a little upset that Grayson Waller still has this restraining order against him. And in comes Joe Gacy and Harland. And Gacy starts talking to LA Knight. He doesn't really like what he's hearing. And he says, you know what? If I don't like the way you two creepy guys are, it's possible that LA Knight's going to get a restraining order against these two guys because they're so weird. But LA Knight's going to face Joe Gacy later tonight. But yeah, what's with restraining orders in wrestling?
I know, right?
It's
a bit hard to have a restraining order when you both work in the same building. And,
yeah, I don't think that works.
No.
What if me and you
had a restraining order against each other? I mean, it would work at the moment for the next couple of months, but
left. That's why you left. Well, that match is happening later. We get promo for, hey, did you get your WrestleMania tickets?
Not this year, no.
They're letting you know that WrestleMania is happening. I keep calling things PPVs, like we do podcasts and Patreon retro pay-per-view reviews. So I call them PPVs, like retro pay-per-views. But they're not called that anymore. So I need to get it in my head properly that it's now called PLEs.
Yeah.
Premium Live Event.
Oh yeah.
PLEs. The one thing I did like about this commercial for WrestleMania is it uses more of the weekend. They're just like, you know what? Every year you put out a hot song, we'll just put it as a WrestleMania song. It's fine. It's like they just go for it.
I'm okay with it compared to other stuff they've got. Like I like the weekend.
It's a great song.
Yeah,
it's a good song. Honestly, I fucking love the song. I love that album. So we're just like, it's so funny. They're just like, yeah, this works. And then next year, yeah, you know what? We'll just, hey, what do you got now? Yeah, we'll take that too. It's like by the end of it, kids in 20 years are gonna be like, yo, remember when WWE went through that weekend phase, as we talk about the Limp Bizkit phase.
Limp Bizkit, your Flow Rider, your Pitbull.
Wow.
Poppy.
We got, yeah. Pour one out. Pour one out. Hey, you missed Ollie Jayy last week.
Oh no, I didn't. I did watch Ollie Jayy last week.
All right, just checking. NXT, they remind us that in the next 2 weeks, that it won't be on the USA Network, but it will be on Sci-Fi, which means Vengeance Day is going to be on Sci-Fi, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
That's right.
Okay, so it's because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? Beijing Olympics. Are you excited?
About the Olympics?
Yeah.
No. It's fine. I tend to get into it. I know my mum is big into the Olympics, so being here, it's going to be on the TV.
Yeah.
We'll get into the Team GB and all that, but no, if it's on, I'll watch bits. I like watching the weird stuff, to be honest, during the Olympics. The sports that like
I like snowboarding.
Yeah, that
Shaun White, baby.
Oh wait, it's the Winter Olympics, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, not the Summer
Winter, David.
I don't know. It's summer some places, isn't it? Yeah, Winter Olympics. Oh yeah, I like the ones where they like do jumps and shit.
Nice. You heard it here first. We like the ones that do jumps and shit. I'm surprised you're not a fan of Ricochet if you're a fan of jumps and shit.
Well, he should maybe do the Winter Olympics. You don't have to fucking talk there.
I don't know. A lot of them get over when they talk. It's good. We go to our next segment, Toxic Attraction. Come down to the ring, the three champions. Vic Joseph, clearly a big fan of our review we did a little while ago of Backlash, All the Power, All the Gold, two-man power trip, because he says Toxic Attraction has all the power and has all the gold, and he who has the power has all the gold, all that way. Mandy Rose starts talking about how she's the champion and that all these people are claiming they're getting title shots and putting titles on the line. Well, Gigi and JC say in 2 weeks, they're going to put the tag titles on the line. It sounds like it's going to be against Indy and Persia, where Kaylee Ray comes out and interrupts Mandy. And
with her bat.
Yeah, she's got her baseball bat. And Kaylee Ray, basically, she wants a title match with Mandy. She's trying to scare her. And Mandy says, you wish you were me. You all wish you were me, and the men here wish they could be with me. And Kaylee Ray, she says you're not going to get a title match. And Kaylee Ray says, "Look, I've been fighting down here in NXT when you were slipping on WrestleMania," and starts dissing her when she fell that one time. Mandy says it doesn't matter.
And sucking the face off of Otis.
Oh yeah. Mandy says everyone wishes they were her. They're all fugazis. And Kaylee says, oh, don't worry. By the end of the night, I'm going to get my title match. And Mandy says, doubtful, when Kaylee Ray smacks her. And then they all run off but Kaylee Ray says she's going to get that title match from Mandy later tonight.
Yeah, I think Kaylee Ray's got a lot of work to do to get this crowd on her side, and they tried really hard tonight because she came out to no reaction. I didn't think Mandy or Gigi or JC sounded very good at all. The segment felt very flat. But I will say that line about Mandy slipping at WrestleMania and sucking the face of Otis was a good line and did kind of wake the crowd up a little, and the slap did as well. So by the end of the segment, I thought they kind of saved it a bit. But yeah, I don't feel the crowd are really behind Kaylee Ray at this point.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a disconnect, and I like her wrestling. I think her wrestling's really good. And maybe it's just... maybe it's the accent to like a North American audience. Like the Scottish accent isn't like easy to necessarily like follow all the time. But there's just something, this Rage character isn't quite connecting with me. And we see her throughout the whole night carrying around this baseball bat. She never uses this baseball bat, you know? It really seems like a prop, and like she's trying to get this thing. Just fucking smash her shins, you know? Just go for her with this thing. But yeah, this was okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I wanted to be into it, and I'm like, the match could be cool because you know what, Kaylee Ray is awesome, and kind of some of the stuff she said is true. So it's like, all right, well, let's see if you get this match. She might. We go to Cora Jade. She's backstage being interviewed about Raquel Gonzalez, and Cora says she has a match with Raquel tonight, and she's going to have to prove to Raquel that we should be a tag team. And she says that she's going to hit Raquel with everything that I got. When Raquel enters the frame and says, look, you're not scared. Well, you should be, Chiquita. And she's not going to hold anything back either here tonight. We go to commercial, but when we come back before that match, Toxic Attraction is shown leaving the arena. The gals are getting in their black SUV, Uber black. Yeah. But before Mandy can open it, it's locked, and the window rolls down, and Kaylee Ray is in the driver's seat. The girls are now locked in the back, and Kaylee Ray then drives off with the two, thus kidnapping the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
Yep. Did they come back? I'm trying to remember. Did she kill the...
kidnapped.
Yeah. And bye-bye Gigi and JC. What did she do to them?
What did she do with them? How did this happen? How does this... could they not... is it hard to get out of doors? Why couldn't they get out of the doors of the car?
I guess she locked them. How did she get in the car?
Child locks. I don't know what it would be, but
yeah.
Mandy couldn't get into the car, and Kaylee drives off. Where did she take them? Did she beat their shins with the bat?
I don't think she ever uses this bat. And Mandy didn't seem too upset. She was just like, "Oh my god, she's crazy."
Yeah, she's. Yeah, I don't know. It's like she kidnaps these people, and then she's still going to chase after Mandy, I guess, is the storyline. But wow, just great stuff. It doesn't end, though. That's not the end of it.
No.
We do go to our next match, Raquel versus Cora. So Cora wants to team with Raquel in the Dusty Cup, but Raquel's like, nah, I don't. I work alone. But Cora's going to prove her strength here. But she gets this huge clothesline from Raquel early on. And then this huge sidewalk slam to a spin-out side effect from Raquel for a near fall. Cora counters a move and hits a stunner for a 1 count. And then Raquel puts her back into a hold, the Canadian backbreaker, just bending her and then running her into the turnbuckle and then turning it into a gory special. When eventually Jade gets out of it, Jade jumps off the top rope and gets caught into a side power slam, but counters that into an octopus stretch, it looked like. Yeah, it looked great. Eventually, Raquel gets out of that. There's a series of roll-ups, a crazy rope run Rana from Jade for a near fall. But then she goes for something similar again and then gets countered into the Chingona bomb. 1, 2, 3. Raquel beats her, but just as we suspected, I think we all did. She picks her up, and it's the respect angle. She stares her down and says, all right, you did good. Maybe I will team with you.
Yeah, I thought this was all right. I quite like Cora Jade. I think she's obviously so young, and there's a long way to go. Like, hopefully if she can stay healthy, like, she can be around for a long time. And I think she plays the role of the kind of the kid in NXT quite well. And the fact that they've built up that in the past she's been having these fluke wins, it does put a little bit of doubt when facing a Raquel Gonzalez that she could get that sneaky roll up or whatever. This wasn't anything like special. It wasn't a particularly long match, but I like the little story they've been telling with these two. Do you see these two winning it? Because there's not really much story for anyone else in it, and then Raquel could be kind of back-to-back champion of the Dusty Classic.
Yeah, I think so. Like, honestly, who else is there? Persia and Indy.
They're the only.
There's no one else. This tag team. There's no one. So I didn't mind the match. It was pretty quick. That Rana by Jade was pretty cool.
Looked really nice.
Considering how young she is, like she can wrestle pretty well. We go to Sarray's next, but I'll go to this Pete Dunne promo that is. I hate these like go to break, come back things. It's like, all right, Pete Dunne shows clips of him with Tony D'Angelo and with the cricket bat, and he says, "Hey Tony, how's the hand? You said there's 13 ways, 26 ways to use a crowbar. Well, I know at least one to use with a cricket bat." And he's kind of mocking Tony with his hand gestures and stuff. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I liked it. He said, he goes, "Well, you say about handling business. Well, I handle my business," and does the hand gesture. And then Pete Dunne does this look where he's like, "This is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, what am I
so
doing?
Stupid. Why am I in this cartoon right now?" And he's like, "Why am I still in 2.0? But
so he mentioned chairs and weapons and stuff, but then he said, let's fight how it all started with a cage match. So Pete challenges Tony to a cage match. I think it's either happening. Is it Vengeance Day?
Must be. I don't know if they confirmed. Yeah, I assume Vengeance Day.
They didn't really confirm it, yeah.
But I've quite enjoyed their last two matches, so I think a cage... we've seen some good cage matches in NXT in the past, and perhaps this is the write-off of Pete Dunne? What do you think?
We keep thinking that.
We keep thinking that.
Yeah, so maybe. We go to Sarray. It's a video package, kind of what we've seen her last week, saying 2020 wasn't my year, but now I have the power and I will show everyone. And then it shows her backstage, and we've talked about Sarray, who her gimmick is changed here. She's kind of just a Japanese schoolgirl type thing here, kind of nerdy, walking through the halls, going into gorilla position for her matchup next, and then like has this amulet,
the necklace,
the necklace thing. She clutches it, looks down at it, walks through gorilla, walks through the tunnel, and just as I literally said, she's gonna come out as this the warrior of the sun now, isn't she? Music hits, the smoke hits, the lights, the Tron, everything. Sarray, the warrior of the sun, and now she's done it. She's Sailor Mooned us. She's basically got streaks in her hair. She's got the colorful gear. Looks like how kind of she used to do, but maybe more amped up.
Yeah, she had like her fringe was kind of silver now and a bit more colorful. This made me laugh, and the Brits listening will know what I'm talking about. There used to be a program on over here, kind of before like X Factor and American Idol and all that was a thing, called Stars in Their Eyes, and it was people would come on and they'd be their favorite singer and they'd impersonate them and sing one of their songs, but they do the full makeover so they look like them. And it was always a thing where they'd be like, the host was called Matthew Kelly, and they'd go, "Tonight, Matthew, I'm gonna be Freddie Mercury," and they'd walk through the smoke and they'd come back right away and they'd be looking like Freddie Mercury. And this was just Sarray right here in a schoolgirl thing. "Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be the warrior of the sun." I put a little tweet out on my Twitter just showing a clip, like a little gif of what it looked like. But yeah, I was getting that, and I got a little chuckle from this.
Yeah, it was like she walks through this tunnel and all of a sudden she's someone else. It's like, how has no one done this recently?
Yeah.
this like especially through the pandemic era. Like, I know we did a lot of video edits and stuff, but like, it's so funny. It made me laugh out loud. I knew it exactly what they were doing as soon as it cut to her walking backstage holding that thing. I was like, oh, they're gonna do this, aren't they? And yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. It's so funny. So Sarray is now the warrior of the sun. She comes into the ring and she's going to face Kayla Inlay. I don't know if that's Piglet. I don't know what that is, but I've never heard of her before. But she had a nice little outing here. Vic Joseph on commentary mentions that this family heirloom of Sarray makes her feel happy. Yeah, that's why she has it all the time. And then Wade tries to like sell the story of the amulet and all this stuff, and you could tell he hates it. He's basically reading lines here, and he's like, I don't even believe what I'm saying. There's arm drags from Sarray, and then like side chain wrestling. When then they interrupt the match with this like audio clip. We've seen them do this before with Mackenzie Mitchell, who's just like mentioning about what Mandy Rose and other stuff.
Kaylee Ray's returned to the arena. She's back. But without
like,
JC and Gigi.
It's like, why do this in the middle of the match? I kind of hate it.
It's a throwaway, and like if it's, I don't mind. It's not like you're cutting to the back. That's what I hate, when you actually go to a different place. But when you've already got commentary talking about all kinds of rubbish, I don't mind so much a little audio Mackenzie coming in.
Well, Sarray eventually hits this stomp type move, and then we've seen her do this, the drop kick of death, or the drop kick of doom, the drop kick of the sun. Really, you knew this Kayla had it incoming. She blocked it, but just eats it. And then this T-bone exploder backdrop driver. Sarray wins the match, the warrior of the sun.
It was the Saito, wasn't it? The Saito suplex, no?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a cool looking move. It looks like Taz doing it or something. She's like Hook. Dream match, Sarray versus Hook. That would be great. But you know what? The character, it made me laugh, but at the same time, I'm like, they were not using you at all, not pushing you at all. If this is gonna push you somewhere, then let's see where it can go. Why not?
I don't think it's gonna work, to be honest.
Not on the main roster? Absolutely not.
No, I don't think it's gonna work here. There was nothing different about her in ring. So it's all backstage stuff, but once she comes out, it's exactly the same gimmick as before, pretty much. Like, I didn't see really any change in her wrestling style or anything, and I think a lot of people are just going to find the gimmick stuff hokey. I don't think this is really going to connect. I think she's good, but I felt the same as how I felt watching her the last year. She's a good wrestler, but something... Like, I can't see them going much further with her. And I don't know. I did think for this Kayla Inlay, think for someone who is essentially just doing the enhancement talent role here, I thought she showed a little bit of promise as well. And I wonder if we're going to see more of her, because I thought she looked quite good too.
Yeah, the issue with like Sarray is they brought her in and was doing these moves anyways, and then they kind of just dropped it like cold, and then
they just had her lose.
And then now it's all of a sudden she's a nerd character that turns into this like warrior thing. It's like, okay, sure. Are you explaining why you act like this or dress like this? Sure. For me though, the wrestling is there, and that's kind of maybe why I'm like, all right, because I want to see her have a run that we've seen other NXT women in the roles have in the past in NXT. But I'm like, is that just what old NXT was? I don't know. But we've had some great runs in the women's division, like your Ember Moons or your Eos or Asuka or Shayna. And I feel like if the wrestling's there, then that would be pretty sweet to see her kind of.
Yeah, I mean, wrestle, the thing is, I think my comparison would be Io, because remember when she first came in and she was just kind of the smiley, and And I think there was a bit of a disconnect there until she did the whole character change, and then it connected. And I felt here it's, yeah, you're doing all this stuff backstage, you're doing the vignettes, but if you're just sat in the CWC and not paying attention to these video packages, it's the same Sarray. There's no change here. Whereas there was a real overhaul with that EO character back in the day. But this was week 1, so we'll see when maybe get her in a bit more of a program with someone, hopefully, because I do like her wrestling. I think it's good, and that drop kick is killer.
Yeah, well, we might see a bit more of her later. We go to Duke Hudson, a video vignette for him, and well, it shows him shedding his gambling addiction, just throwing away his poker player gimmick. He starts his promo by quoting Cobra Kai, so I don't know if this is a better direction or not, but strike first. I'm in this for the long game. He's literally just quoting Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. Look where that got me. Huh?
His gimmick is now he cuts his own hair and he watches Cobra Kai on Netflix. He's given up on poker because he's shit at it, and he cuts his own hair.
He said he had addictions and got me in the wrong place in the long game. Well, my only addiction now is inflicting pain. I make my own luck. Yeah. This promo was real cookie cutter. Real like, okay, just go say some mean things and generic one-liners. Yeah. Or just watched literally Cobra Kai first episode and just was like, I'll just say that. Yeah. But he's like shaving. I didn't even describe what was on the visuals because it's him shaving his head in a dark room. Like the electric razor, just shaving his head. That's what he does now. Yeah. He's going from the poker player to the like self barber gimmick. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this guy, but yeah. Are you excited for this new gimmick?
Sure. Yeah,
strike first.
The most I liked Duke Hudson was when he was just a dick to Kyle O'Reilly backstage. You know, and it's more kind of what kind of Grayson Waller's going down now, just like just a bit of a dickhead. Whereas it seems like they're just throwing things at this guy to try and make work. And I think maybe just let him be Duke Hudson and talk and be a bit of an asshole and then beat people up. Might work better.
Well, now he's just addicted to inflicting pain.
Oh, yeah.
And he makes his own luck. All right. Can't wait to see what happens. We go to Bron Breakker, the NXT champ, with Tommaso Ciampa backstage. Bron is pretty much like, hey, Ciampa, thank you for being a friend. Thank you for stepping up. We're going to have that tag team match tonight. LDF, they're going to be light work. Ciampa says, no worries. I know you appreciate the help, and it's all about respect. And Ciampa's still playing it like, hey, I'm your friend, but still kind of playing a little hard to get here. But they have their matchup against Legado tonight. They do say that it's not a 2-on-3. It's just Joaquin Wilde and
Raul Mendoza.
Raul Mendoza versus these two guys.
That changed because they did say 3-on-2 last week, right?
I thought they did.
I thought they did too. So. But okay, we get the tag.
We go to Carmelo Hayes, who comes out with Trick Williams, and he says that he's got a match at Vengeance Day against Cameron Grimes for the A title, the number 1 title here, the North American Championship that he holds, and says the old Carmelo would come out here and verbally put Grimes, in his grave. But I'm not going to do that because you people don't take him seriously. I do. Therefore, I'm still in the gym. I'm still hanging with Ollie Jayy, and I'm still doing everything that it takes to beat Cameron Grimes. Grimes then walks out, and he's there. And Trick says, don't say anything, what did he say? You low down, raggedy, and looking bum or something
Trick,
like that?
He goes a mile a minute. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
He says,
sounded good.
Don't come any closer. He said, don't come any closer. You're looking slimy. And Cameron Grimes says, hey, man, I ain't slimy. I'm grimy. And then Cameron Grimes makes fun of Trick's SpongeBob's house looking pineapple hair.
Well, he made fun of Mello's hair and then said, well, that must make Trick Squidward. And I was like, why are you making fun of Mello was wearing a hat to start with. I don't know if he just messed it up and got them the wrong way round. But yeah, he was calling out. Yeah, because I was like, Grimes, it doesn't actually kind of make sense there.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Making fun of the pineapple hair thing. He then mentions something about I see you hanging with Ollie Jayy on Instagram and something about bikini bottom.
Yeah, wanting to get in a bikini bottoms or something, which was a good line. It's just shame he kind of like messed the first bit up.
Butchered it. Then Trick just goes off on Cameron Grimes even more fast. I couldn't really. It reminded me of Iggy Azalea, that one concert she did that someone filmed where she's just really rapping really, really fast, but it's incoherent. You can't understand. And that's when Grimes says, "Hey, are you going to let this guy do the talking? Because I'm not fighting you. I'm fighting you." And says that I'm going to take that North American title. And Mello says, "Well, I'm going to shoot for the moon and take stars as casualties." Which even the crowd who was behind Grimes' whole promo was like, "Oh,
that's a good line."
That was a good line. And then it's like over. They leave. And then Grimes is like, "Yeah, well, it's going to be a 1-star match because this star is going to the moon." And everyone was like, "Yeah."
Said you're going to have a shitty match.
Yeah, you just said you're going to have a bad match. But yeah. He meant because he's the star.
I know. I think the match is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
You've kind of said it before that Cameron Grimes just looks like a guy now. I think he can be a babyface but still rock the kind of suit jacket without the shirt underneath. I think he just looks like he's going to like a business party or something.
He's going to work.
Yeah, he just looks a bit like a guy, boring. And I think it's losing a bit of that heel edge has just made him a bit more bland. I think the match is going to be fantastic. I really like both Mello and Grimes. Just want him to find a bit of his swag back, maybe. And Trick is growing on me every week now. I think he's becoming a lot more comfortable, and it's don't always catch what he's saying, but I kind of like that he's sort of the motor mouth, and then Mello is more this kind of calm, cool, collected, and has these killer lines. I am enjoying their act.
Carmelo is amazing on the microphone and in the ring. I am super excited for this match. You know what? We love Grimes on this show specifically for years, but now that he looks like this guy, and I thought he came across kind of weak in this promo, considering
I agree.
He usually is considering he usually is pretty solid on the microphone as well. But I think he needs to. We've said it every week. We're a broken record essentially, but you put the hat back on.
Yeah. Lose the shirt and put the hat back on, and he'll be great.
It's like the demon. It's like the demon thing. So he's gonna lose to Carmelo, and then he's gonna be like down in his dumps, like, man, what am I gonna do? And then he's like, yo, I gotta put the hat back on. And when you wear the hat, then you're the old Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
The vest, the hat, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be great. The only guy I want to see wear the vest in NXT. We go to Malik Blade and Edris and Malik backstage in a locker room. They're really excited because they won their first match in the Dusty Classic. They say that they need a tag team name now. They're workshopping on some. I think it's Edris who says, well, I mean, we're brave, we're bold, we're confident. We could be called the BBC. And he's like, whoa, hold on. I don't know if we should call these. Oh, okay. Well, then they continue talking when is it Malik who's sitting down, and he's like, just anything to look at that, to take out that NXT.
He's like, what would I do if she were to just come in right now? What would I say? And all that kind of, if I could take her out, yeah.
What about Mandy Rose? Say? And all of a sudden, the locker room door opens. In comes Mandy Rose, who's running away from Kaylee Ray, trips over Malik and falls right into his lap. He then says, "Thank you, God," which made me laugh. Then Mandy gets up and then walks off and runs away. Kaylee Ray chases her out, and Edris is like, "Yo, we got to go see what that was all about." And Malik is like, I need a minute. And he's like, yo, come on, man, let's go. He's like, no, I need a minute.
Malik's hidden blade, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So that was a lot to process.
This did make me laugh. I mean, the acting was pretty terrible, but I did. This was one of the highlights of the show this week for me. I thought it was very funny, and this was just the start of NXT 2.0 is getting horny again, and it pretty much stayed horny for the rest of the show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to take in. First, we get Malik and Edris going to call their new tag team the BBC. You're British. You're a big fan of BBC, aren't you?
Yeah, it's I pay my TV license.
And just enjoy all the BBC you can while you're
all the BBC.
There, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hope you do while you're in the native land. Well, then it's that, and then Mandy Rose is on the guy's lap. I know they mentioned Mandy Rose last week, like, oh, when we win, we're going to ask her out. That's funny, and the thank you God kind of thing. It's very, I'm thinking 90s 2000s comedy when it's like the girl always just randomly lands right in front of you and you're like, oh wow. But the the like, we go from one segment where a guy's talking about SpongeBob and I'm like, and then the next segment the guy's like, yo, I got a boner.
Yeah it's I did like he's covering up with the fur jacket, but yeah, it's all very immature, this show, but all
over the place.
I did find this funny.
I think I don't know if it's because it was so ridiculous, but Malik Blade and Edris, I think if they were to do more stuff like this, like I found them funnier, and maybe because it's more sillier and stuff, but more cheeky than MSK. Like the two guys,
yeah,
they riff off each other pretty nicely.
I think they're. I mean, I'm not saying I don't think the acting's great, but I think they deliver. I feel MSK might be better, a little less scripted. Because I feel them really acting the lines, and it's very. And again, they're very immature, very childish. This may be because I give these guys a bit more of a pass because they're very new. They are this kind of new crop of talent. So I kind of buy that they're almost the new kids in school, right? A lot of these 2.0 people and Mandy's been in the company for a long time. So it's like the nerds, the nerd first years fancying the hot girl in third year or whatever. Like that's what I'm kind of getting. So I maybe give them a bit more of a pass. But yeah, I've liked them. I've enjoyed their ring work so far, and I like that they're getting time to sort of grow on the mic and try a bit of comedy. This didn't offend me as much as a lot of the other stuff on this show did, and I did get a chuckle.
So seeing the BBC grow did not offend you. That's good to know going forward on NXT. I think they should call themselves that. It's funny.
Yeah.
We go to Diamond Mine backstage. They're a little butthurt about their match earlier today, and Malcolm says that he plans on moving forward and that the Creed Bros will bounce back and win the Dusty Classic and get their revenge against Imperium. And the Grizzled Young Veterans interject here and say, look at you losers. We'll beat you guys next week. We'll make light work of you. So the Dusty Classic continues with Diamond Mine and the Grizzled Young Vets next week. But I think the Creed Bros go forward.
I think they should, yeah. We've seen these two have a match before, I believe. But I like Grizzled Young Vets as a team. But I think the money at this point is in Creed Brothers, and you should go with them.
Well, if the money's in the Creed Brothers, they better watch out because the Grizzled Young Vets are going to rob them.
Rob them. We haven't seen that for a little bit, have we? Yeah.
I hope someone.
I hope it's kind of dropped a little.
Yeah, I hope they got rid of that where they rob their Uber Eats drivers. What the fuck? Ridiculous. Why didn't we talk about that when it came to worst gimmicks? That had to be up there for sure. Stealing people's money for no reason because your NXT contract was still on the UK, set to UK. We go to LA Knight versus Joe Gacy. He's got Harland with him here, standing tall, menacing, very scary. LA Knight hits a running neck breaker to Gacy for a 1 count. There's then a Uranagi from Gacy as he fights back. He has a pretty sweet looking Uranagi move. They mention that Harland is watching and he's very scary and that he throws people down stairs and off roofs, but they don't mention Brian Kendrick. Gacy works the leg of LA Knight, and then Knight comes back and gets Gacy stuck in the corner with his leg and hits another neck breaker. He then goes to the outside when we see, is it Sanga who shows up?
I think this was the first time we caught his name, right? This was Sarray from Indashir, but yeah, they're calling him Sanga now.
He's standing there and distracts. Well, the ref doesn't see any of this. He distracts LA Knight, which then out of nowhere, out of the frame, in comes a rolling Grayson Waller, which then he hits a stunner on LA Knight. Then the ref counts the 10 count, and LA Knight is disqualified when Grayson Waller then says, next week, if you can beat Sanga, then I'll get rid of the restraining order and you can face me. But Sanga hits him with a choke slam at first. Yeah, the choke slam looked all right, actually.
I agree, actually. I did think the choke slam looked nice. I'm actually liking LA Knight as a babyface a lot more than I was expecting. I think I think I've said this before, but he reminds me of The Rock as his wrestling style, just the way he moves. I think he's a similar build to The Rock, like back in the day. And
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, like the way he kind of flicks his legs when he runs around, it's hard to explain, but he's got a lot of Rock mannerisms, and I think it's really working as a babyface, and I think the crowd are taking to him as one as well. And I think this feud's been going on for a while, but I'm kind of looking forward to the match more because I feel both are more defined in their roles. Grayson Waller being a way more defined heel than they were when they first did this, and LA Knight as this face. So I'm kind of looking forward to the match. This match, I mean, it was mainly LA Knight and then just Joe Gacy getting the win at the end there with the interference. But yeah, again, it wasn't really a match. It's all setting up story, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It was nothing. It sets up this match, but yeah, that cool choke slam. But I know what you mean. LA Knight does like certain mannerisms and stuff with his body that's very similar to The Rock. It's because they got machismo. We go to Robert Stone, who's backstage with Von Wagner. That's right. Robert Stone says he was looking at things all wrong. He kept looking at the entertainment part of sports entertainment. He kept looking at these people who wanted to be stars, but everyone's gone and left him. Well, he had to look elsewhere, and that's when he saw the 6'5" monster that is Von Wagner. So I paid his fees for
all the fines,
violation, the fines,
for beating
up
and people,
and I'll pay him again and again. This guy is gonna take over, and this is Von Wagner. And then Von Wagner, he's now in like a suit jacket or a blazer, looks more kept, looks nice. He then ends it with, this is Von Wagner's world.
Yeah, and I actually think they did a good job of making Robert Stone look more serious. He wasn't in his ridiculous suits we've seen him wear before. So Wagner desperately needs a mouthpiece, but they clearly like him. They clearly see something in him, and as you've said, he's a really fantastic wrestler. So I think this pairing could work, and maybe something better for Robert Stone as well if he's taking it a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I still think Von Wagner had one line to say here, and he still didn't sound good at all. I'm like, you didn't even have to say that.
It was half a line as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't good. It just sounded so bad. But I could see this guy getting better. Again, this is supposed to be this developmental, so I think it's probably the right move for this guy.
Yeah,
because I do think he's a good wrestler. But we go to our next match. Wendy Chu versus Amari Miller. So last week, Tiffany told, or is it earlier today? I forget all these pre-taped things. They had Tiffany Stratton going up to Amari Miller saying, if you take out Wendy Chu, I will take you shopping, and shows her daddy's credit card. So take out Wendy Chu tonight. So in the match now, Wendy Chu, Amari Miller. Wendy does some sleeping. I have to mention Wendy's theme song. It's like this like bedtime lullaby remix into a trap beat. I actually thought it was pretty funny. And that's like what clouds and like sleepy time, ridiculous things.
Yeah.
It is so stupid, but yeah. She comes out, she's in her pajamas and ready to fight. They also don't mention it's coffee in her sippy cup. They mention it's a Slurpee.
Yeah.
Slushies and Slurpees and stuff. Wendy does a move where she grabs the person's leg, so grabs Miller's leg, and then just koalas it and cuddles and sleeps, which then Miller tries to get off of her. Wendy then...
She tells her to be quiet when she's trying. She's like, shh, I'm sleeping here.
Going to sleep. Wendy then knocks Amari down and then does explain this move then. A sleep elbow. Like she does the like posing to go to sleep and then elbows with it.
Yeah, she did these for a lot of her moves. Does like the hand in like the prayer position by the head for a pillow, but hitting an elbow. This
is like...
it's very on the nose, isn't it?
What would you call this move? The sleep elbow? The sleep elbow?
Sleeper elbow. Yeah, sleepy elbow.
Sleep elbow. No, yeah, something like that. There's then some like fiery moves. And Miller comes back to try to hit her with strikes, and this just fires Wendy up even more. There's then a huge like running counter to a belly-to-belly overhead throw from Choo, and then this huge exploder out of the corner, which was awesome. Miller comes back, though, kicking out, hits a code breaker for a near fall. This is when Tiffany Stratton comes down, slides the credit card into the ring and says, Miller, look, I'm going to take you shopping. Come on. And Miller's like, I don't know about this. Ends up getting a roll-up, gets out of it, but then runs into what I guess is Wendy's finishing move here, because this is what she finishes it with. We mentioned the sleeping pose. Well, it's like she does the sleeping, baby sleeping position pose, but as a double chop to the face, and Wendy Chu wins. And now Wendy has Tiffany's daddy's credit card as she dances around and holds it up saying, I'm going to go shopping with your dad's credit card. But Wendy Chu wins the match. But wow.
I think I way preferred the tag team match with Wendy Chu the other week, with just like the little burst and her sleeping on the apron. I think it's finding the balance, because clearly she can wrestle, and I like it when it's like Orange Cassidy, right? When he finally wants to be motivated. It just feels a bit too as I say, on the nose. Explain to me. It's like, look, I am sleeping and I do sleepy poses. I think pick the spots, and it was a little too much of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, why isn't she using the go-to sleep? We've said it a few times now. It's like, that is basically perfect. Just do that.
Or a sleeper suplex or something like, yeah.
Sleeper suplex, yeah, true. Yeah, there's a few different things. Look, the thing is, she can wrestle, because actually she's hitting some pretty sweet moves as well. But it's like, you're given this silly gimmick that, yeah, it's so silly that it makes me laugh and smile, and then I see the wrestling, I'm like, oh, you're actually good. But like, really, how many legs are actually on this bed? Where is she gonna go? You see what I did there? But like, the sleeping thing, the beat and everything, I was like laughing. I'm like, this is so funny, the sleepy girl. But it's like so weird. And then her dancing with the credit card at the end, I'm like, man, like, no disrespect, but what happened to NXT? What happened to wrestling? What's going on?
This was yeah. I was watching a kid's show here. This was...
It felt like a kid's show.
This was really... this was like...
Big, comfy couch.
I was watching a pantomime or something here. And you look, there's no... Or I couldn't see any kids in the crowd. It's all adults. And you're just like, what? Who are you aiming this for? Like, you're meant to be aiming... You have in one segment someone talking about their dick, how they got a boner. You have Ollie Jayy last week and Trick and Mello, like, with her. Like, as I say, the half the show's horny, and then you've got this. You got SpongeBob SquarePants references, and this girl who's like, look at me, I sleep and I wrestle. it's such a over the top cartoon, and I think it actually makes me really kind of respect Orange Cassidy even more, because I do think he gets the balance perfect most of the time. I know a lot of people would disagree. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think when he does it, you really get that he's doing it to play with the other person, to piss them off. Whereas here, I'm like, I think you're just playing, sleeping, and it's
just playing possum.
And it looks like directing a school play where you go with these 7-year-olds and you go and you're gonna wake up and pretend you're really tired, and it's just, yeah. This didn't. I really enjoyed the tag match the other week, but this is gonna wear thin very quick, and I think it already has.
Yeah, like she didn't do the sleeper matrix.
That was the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't do this one, but yeah, I guess she got to pick their spots a bit more. But very weird.
I feel bad for her because she clearly, that exploder suplex she hit was awesome. Like, some of her moves look great, and she's been lumped with like the first whole year of her career in NXT with this Mei Ying gimmick, where she wrestled twice, 3 times, and couldn't really show what she could do because she was in this gimmick, and now it's the same thing here. Like,
yeah, it's kind of weird, yeah.
It looks like, from what I've seen, this woman could be having fantastic sort of main event level matches for the women's title and actually good wrestling, and she's just playing this children's character.
They're just sleeping on her, bro. That's what they're doing. She's slept on. That's what it is. Well, I want to see her go shopping. Maybe the gimmick's broken already. She's going to go shopping and realize she doesn't have to wear pajamas and buy gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen. Maybe she'll buy coffee. We go to...
it's time to get horny again with the next segment. Yeah. We've had our kids bit. Let's flip the channel. It's horny 2.0 again.
Bonk. We go to Indy and Persia backstage. Indy is in arm in arm with Dex. And, well, Persia's on Tinder, it looks like. And she's talking about some exes and some boys, some boy toys, and she's distracted. And Indy's kind of talking about, like, how you're distracted. And then Persia's talking about someone's abs and asking advice about Dexter, and Dexter just gives the thumbs down.
No, she's talking about Duke Hudson. She likes Duke Hudson.
Oh, she's talking about Duke.
Yeah.
Oh, she likes Duke.
And Indy's like, nah, he seems a bit of like a bad boy. He doesn't seem very nice. And Dexter's like, yeah, no, he sucks. Gives the thumbs down.
Yeah. Are you ready? Jensen interrupts. Yeah. What's his?
Brooks
Jensen?
Brooks Jensen.
Brooks Jensen interrupts here and says, hey, Dex, you've been doing fine in that department, being married and all. I need some advice, I need some help because I just want, was it Casey he says, or Caden?
He wants Caden.
I can't remember. He wants Caden to talk to me more. I want to, be able to connect with her more, and I want her to like me. When Indy says it's a lot better when the guy is less communicative, like less vocal.
Non-verbal communication is sexy.
And then looks at Dexter. He looks at her, and then she goes, you're right, Dex. Let's go to the hot tub. Excuse us. We got to go. And then they run off. And then Jensen's like, wow, maybe that will work. Yeah. The show sucks.
He says, I'm a lost dog. Have you ever said that, Braden? Have you ever gone, I'm a lost dog?
Yeah, I am.
I really like this guy. I'm a lost dog. Yeah, he's horrendous. I quite like Indy, Persia, and Dexter, but it's one of those things in the old, like Black and Gold, having them do some of their silly stuff. It's quite welcome because the majority of the show is wrestling, and then you'd have a little bit of silliness with The Way or with Grimes and Ted DiBiase and that kind of thing, but it wasn't the whole show. But going from just Wendy Chu to this to, I mean, the whole the whole next few segments are all just vignettes again. And Jensen just is appalling. He is a terrible actor. Poor guy. Like, I want
to like him.
I know he's young and stuff, but it's really bad. It's really painful to watch.
You know what? Say less, Davie, because nonverbal communication is sexy.
Right? Yeah. This whole roster need to learn that. Be more like Dexter.
Yeah, we're gonna see him do that now. He's gonna go out because they're gonna see more dating segments with them, right? We have to. There's a lot of relationships and stuff, especially around Valentine's Day / Vengeance Day in a few weeks. The horny meter is gonna be turned on even more in the next few weeks,
and it's all gonna be Caden's gonna be upset because he's not talking and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be backwards.
Yeah,
she's like, I love a guy who can communicate, right, ladies. We go to a video for Grinding Hard. I was a little confused here at first. I wasn't sure who this was because I was like, wait, is this the same guy who had a different video package?
Yeah, so this was...
I put in the work.
This was Draco Anthony, who we saw months ago at this point, it feels, who was the guy drinking coffee, kind of the film noir style coffee drinker. And clearly they've kind of scrapped that, and now he grinds.
Yeah, grinding hard is what they kept showing. Is really weird, like
choice of words.
Grinding hard, just weird. Like it looked like shit. Like I'm not blowing our own horn or anything specifically because we didn't do it, but we have a video guy, Dickie Bird, who's amazing. In fact, if you watched our upNXT Rumble, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the real Royal Rumble entrances and this guy's entrances, because the way Dickie was creating these videos and stuff was just fucking amazing. Even the Twitter stuff, you got to see it was amazing. But when I watch stuff like this, I'm like, dude, even I could make this.
Yeah,
it's like it's like an Instagram TikTok story.
It looked like Word graphics art from the 90s, and
I mean, again, who am I to judge in this segment? But we've seen great video work, and I'm like, and then they air shit like this. Like, that sucks. Just grinding hard. Well, he's going to wrestle next. Later.
Yeah, he was saying that his drill sergeant said he'd never make it as a Marine, and then he served the country for 4 years. He says, when your day ends, mine is just beginning. So his whole gimmick here is just the work. He puts the work in says his actions speak louder than words.
Put in work. And you're talking about the army and stuff. I just thought this guy liked coffee, and now he's grinding hard.
He was at the Performance Center at 2:23 a.m., so I guess he does like coffee to get through the day.
They should form
an alliance. Like me doing this podcast right now at 4:45 in the morning.
Yeah, you're ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. We will see him a bit later, but there's more. We go to Nikita Lyons. And she's talking about how we all come from somewhere. If you're not familiar, she's recently hired by WWE NXT and all that stuff. She has wrestled on 205 Live and all that stuff, but we've not seen her yet on this show. She says, well, Nikita, meaning herself, comes from the world of entertainment. She mentions her dad was a bassist in a popular group and that her mom was a beautiful groupie. And, well, look what they made. Look what they created. That she lived her whole life as a groupie, growing up in a van, going east to west, in the north, and in the cold and everywhere. Beaches, everything. And my dad worked hard for every cent. And I learned my people skills from shady promoters, and it led me to where I am. And then it shows she's like writing music. And then she says, I keep that same energy throughout my whole life. And then like she's in a recording studio. And then she starts singing a song over like a beat, and she's recording it. And then it says Nikita Lyons coming soon. But
so we've got a singer gimmick now. Yeah,
American Idol here. So Ollie Jayy basically tried out for the role last week and didn't, I guess, get the job. I don't know.
I wonder if this is to balance it, because Cameron Grimes brought up Ollie Jayy in the promo. I wonder if we might see a little bit of shenanigans with Ollie Jayy kind of interfering in the match and Nikita maybe taking her out or something to kind of align with Grimes, perhaps.
I don't know. I think it might be a complete separate entity of its own. I liked what I've seen from Nikita because she looks like she's trained in some sort of, I don't know. All her social media stuff is her doing crazy roundhouse kicks and spin kicks and all sorts of stuff. So I am interested in seeing some of the wrestling, but I didn't necessarily think this was where the gimmick was going. But I didn't really like this video. I like the fact that they kind of gave her a little backstory, but then it swerved. And I do like my music, and I make music, and I love all that stuff. But I thought it was a weird swerve where they gave a quick life story, and then it was here's this song I just made, and it didn't necessarily come across that great, I thought. But again, the show is weird.
It's just too much. I think this was this week just a return to the bad form of 2.0. I've actually quite enjoyed the last maybe month of this show because they haven't bombarded you with vignettes. We've maybe had one per episode, and they have gone back to more a bit longer matches, whereas this was just, it was vignette after vignette after vignette, gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. I wonder, is this show just Shutter Island? Are just all these people insane? They all just think they're singers and poker players, and they're all just in some crazy asylum or something where they have delusions of who they are. No, guys, you're wrestlers. You're not a fucking country singer. You're not a dean of a university. All these things. It's so much of it.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. What's wrong with you people? Why can't be wrestlers?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, could it be the same for any other wrestling show? Why are you dressing up like a demon? This is your wrestling guy. Why are you wearing your pajamas, lady? For wrestling. That's definitely how I would like to see it. But yeah. Again, I don't want to just shit on it week one, but it definitely was it started interesting. I'm okay, cool. You're giving someone a backstory, and then it's all to be and because I'm a singer, and here's my song. It's okay, well,
okay,
right.
This isn't American Idol. You're on the wrong show.
Yeah, at least Hit Row, it's they came in, they were wrestling, Swerve was wrestling, and then he won something, and then he was yo, I'm going to do a musical performance in celebration, and it was a pretty cool performance, whereas this was
and it was a promo style, it was a way of talking shit at your opponents and that.
Look, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but what are you going to do? Are you going to eventually turn it into a Jillian Hall, she's doing comedy, the Acclaimed basically took the hip hop thing and the John Cena thing and whatever and made it they diss people. It was will she eventually go into that route? Or because right now she just sounds very she's inspirational or something. Is there a swerve in it? Is she actually evil? Because she's acting like a baby face, but I can't see it work. I don't know.
As always, how is this going to translate in the ring? It's all very well having this idea of a character of a singer, but is she just going to be Jeff Jarrett?
Singers. Yeah. Is it going to be what's her finishing move? The high note, the mic check. It's going to be like that. But bring back Jillian Hall. I see some promise. I wouldn't mind. I want to check it out first. Shout out Nikita Lyons. We go to Sarray backstage. She said she dedicated her win tonight to her grandmother, and now that she won here tonight, she's on a feeling good streak and that she can do anything. When Dakota Kai interrupts, and she's kind of twitching and fidgeting a little bit, and she says, "You're always holding and clutching that emblem there, that amulet there, pretty closely. So I'm watching you. I see you." And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Dakota Kai said she's gonna kill Sarray's grandmother or beat up Sarray's grandmother? She said something "Yo,
I didn't catch that."
She was "Yo, I don't care about your grandmother because I'm gonna beat you up," and then does the Sailor Moon pose and then walks off.
What I found funny here was what we've both said we don't like this new Dakota Kai character. She seemed the most normal person on the show this week, even in this gimmick. She seemed the most normal one of all of them.
Yeah, a lot of strange characters on this show. I mean, not including I think we're getting this match, Sarray Dakota, which sounds great, but with just what's been going on, it's like just let them wrestle and it would be great. But now we got all these silly gimmicks involved with it. It's weird. We go to another silly gimmick, Andre Chase with Chase University going up against Draco Anthony. He hits an atomic drop and then a neck breaker for a near fall. Draco comes back though with this like spin out power slam thing. Andre kicks out, eventually hits a counter into a side Russian leg sweep, and then hits a hammerlock flatliner and gets the win.
Well, he was pissed off because Draco went to grab the Chase University flag, and that's when Andre Chase saw red and just started beating the shit out of him and stomping down before hitting that finish. You did this vignette earlier, grinding hard, actions speak louder than words, and then you lost in a couple of minutes to the main jobber of the show. Not a great debut, and I didn't think he
slipped up. I think he messed up the finish. He was standing there awkwardly for way too long with that flag, and then finally Bodie came and grabbed it. But it was almost like he missed his cue and was just standing there. So then he started to stomp on it slowly, and then was lost again. And then he was like, I wonder if I should turn around now. And then boom, the spot happened. Cool looking hammerlock flatliner from Chase though. That's got to be the coolest move he's done.
Yeah, I mean Chase can wrestle. Like he's not a bad wrestler, but again, it's this gimmick thing. But where he's positioned in NXT is he's not someone to focus on with winning. And I just found it bizarre that you've put this focus on Draco Anthony just shortly prior, and then he just loses like this to the biggest jobber in the company.
Yeah, weird. And it's the professor. Andre Chase calls out Von Wagner, so we're gonna get that match.
Yeah, because Wagner attacked him the other week, didn't he? So I guess you're wanting to build to that, so you wanted to actually make Chase look legitimate here. I bet, but
gotta grind hard.
Yeah,
grinding hard. It's the way you do it. We go backstage. Mandy Rose is still running around. Now she's walking through like catering area, this like kitchen area, and she's walking around like she's drunk almost. So maybe Kaylee Ray did hit her with the bat in the shins because she's walking a little funny here. Walks into the kitchen when we see Kaylee Ray sneak in, and she's got a giant big bowl, and I mean big, serious big bowl of spaghetti, as she then throws it all over Mandy, kind of. And then grabs what's just happily just sitting there randomly is just this cake. And then white sheet cake, picks it up and then throws that at Mandy. Kind of.
Yeah.
This cake.
Mandy lucked out a little here, didn't she?
The cake didn't go in her face at all.
No.
The cake didn't even touch her. It was a terrible cake spot. It's a terrible cake spot.
I'd love to see the scene after when whoever's birthday it is walks in and it's like, what the fuck happened to my cake?
I am the cake.
I am the cake.
What
and I am the spaghetti and meatballs, I think, as well.
Also, who puts that looked like a gross ass, big ass bowl of spaghetti. I'm all for spaghetti meatballs. Do not get it twisted. But that did not look nice. That did not look good. They just have this giant, what is this, a big vat of spaghetti and meatballs that are just ready. It was all stuck together as well because they were waiting to do this segment from earlier in the day. That's why it didn't go all over her. This is nearly, who's that DJ that always throws the cake at people? This was nowhere near that because the cake missed.
Yeah.
Like she's supposed to be covered in all this food and stuff. I'm just like, this is terrible. It's so stupid. She's just walking around with some food on her.
And again, you've got a baseball bat. You want your match. Corner her and be like, I'm going to fucking knock your teeth out. Give me this match. Why are you throwing food at her?
Yeah, is Kaylee Ray like the Ninja Turtles? So, like they walk around with all these weapons,
that
but
they
never
don't
actually use them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Raphael's walking around with size. Leonardo's walking around with fucking samurai swords, but they're like, oh, you know what we're gonna do? Like, trip you guys and put you in trash cans and
throw spaghetti at you.
Yeah, for no fucking reason. And she's got a perfectly good bat.
Yeah,
just ridiculous. Like, we're not past this. Like, so like, oh man, this made me look at the clock. Like, man, why is this show 2 hours? I stopped watching Raw for a reason. And this feels like a Raw segment, and like totally with the food and man, we get the announcement for Valentine's Day, or sorry, Vengeance Day, and JC and Gigi do the ad here saying, "Hearts won't be the only thing that's broken this year." So Vengeance Day coming soon. We go to our main event of the evening, Legado del Fantasma, meaning Wilde and Mendoza versus Ciampa and Breaker. There's a little mention of the Dolph Ziggler Braun Breaker feud that's apparently kicking off. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, isn't Dolph coming to NXT or something?
Boy, you mean the show off is coming to NXT? Has this happened before?
Not for years, I don't think.
Like, we did some digging. It looks like he was one of the coaches on the game show years, and I'm sure he's wrestled a few matches here or there. But yeah, we've joked for years, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Ziggler ever came down to NXT to face Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, all those dudes, and years later he's coming to face Breaker. I think
Ziggler's a great guy to come down, actually, and yeah, I'd look forward to that match.
I think we'll be getting it soon in the near future, but even for them to have mentioned it here, so that's all right. But isn't it weird? Ziggler's like at the Royal Rumble, he's like, it'd be great winning matches. How do I do that? I don't know. Maybe I go to developmental. Maybe I'll win there.
No, wait, I don't see him winning against Bron.
Yeah, no, he's not at all. No, not at all. Well, LDF versus Ciampa Breaker. We have Joaquin Wilde doing a spot with Ciampa where he eventually trips him and then starts to dance and thrust his hips towards Ciampa. So then Ciampa gets up, knocks Wilde down, and then starts to dance himself. It looked like he was doing a portion of the Macarena, and then thrusted his hips in the direction of Wilde. It's a dance off. Breaker gets tagged in. He does a stalling suplex lift to Wilde. So Ciampa comes in and hits a stalling suplex to Raul at the same time. They do a stand-up vertical stalling suplex in stereo. That was hard to say. It's Breaker who's in control, but then once miss up and LDF gain control, start beating down on him as they keep tagging in and out here. Finally, Breaker does this back body drop on Raul and tags in Ciampa for the hot save. He's coming in. He's beaten down. There's power slams. There's neck breakers. Breaker hits a power slam as well. Mendoza fights back, though, and hits a awesome-looking, a Phoenix splash, a 450 splash here on Breaker, but it is a kick out. Braun gets to his feet and hits a running spear, and then
that was a great-looking spear as well, I thought. Really good.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Half. And then I think it's Wilde who's up on the turnbuckle. Ciampa just shoves him off. He goes flying to the outside through the commentary desk, and Ciampa's face is just like, oh, what did I just do? Breaker in the ring hits the power slam. 1, 2, 3. Breaker and Ciampa win the match.
I mean, this is kind of what we seem to get a lot in NXT at the moment. They start the match really late, and then you get a commercial break in it. There was good stuff. There was nice stuff I was seeing, but you just don't get the flow of the match because it's not a long match as it is, and I felt most of it was in commercial. The spot, like the wild stuff coming off the turnbuckle through the table was really cool. I think Bron again looks great, and like all four guys I really like, but I didn't feel I got much of a match here.
No, it had some really cool spots. They definitely squeezed a lot of cool stuff in a small amount of time. Like I mentioned, there's a 450 splash. There was these cool looking power slams, but it was such a condensed match here. Those were all the things we mentioned. Pretty much the only things that happened. Not saying it was bad, but it was kind of why do we need to watch this match? We know these guys are not beating Breaker and Ciampa. It didn't feel like it had much heat to it. I think I think it needed to happen, but it's so typical WWE. Like, okay, well then they gotta have the tag team match, which then sets up the tag match with the leader of the group at the special in 2 weeks. It's like, okay, cool, I get it, whatever, because that's clearly what we're going to. Santos, like, after LDF loses, Breaker's like, come on, step to me, and Santos is like, no, on my time, my time. So clearly he's gonna say the Vengeance Day or whatever for the title, but like, again, it had some cool stuff, but really forced. But it doesn't end there, because after the match, Mandy Rose, who's still covered in spaghetti and cake and everything, slides in the ring. She's running down the ring. Her legs are hurting, I guess. I don't know, from running all the time through this whole episode. And then
she's been running in heels as well. That's not easy.
Like, at one point, you get covered in spaghetti and cake. Just take your heels off, honey. Like, what are you doing? She's in the ring. Kaylee Ray is there with the bat as well. When finally Mandy says, "Okay, you'll get your match. You'll get your match." So, yeah.
Kaylee Ray says she doesn't want it at Vengeance Day. She's going to have it next week. So it's going to be on next week's show.
Okay, so next week, Mandy Rose versus Kaylee Ray. There you go. As NXT goes off the air. Wow.
Yeah, I hated this episode. Honestly, after the first match, it was terrible. There's no reason for an overrun either on this show, or at least if you're giving an overrun, can we have a decent length main event? Yeah, this really soured me, and I do think they've done a good job recently of actually making me a bit more invested in 2.0. I do think the last month they've had a little bit of a good run with the what was the last special they did? New Year's Evil, I thought was really good. But yeah, this was just back to just way too many vignettes, way too many. Like, they don't know who they're writing for. Who is this audience? I don't see who this appeals to. I don't see it appealing to kids. I don't see it appealing to your mid-20-year-olds. I don't see it appealing to old people. It's just a mess of a show, and really didn't get the wrestling tonight at all. Apart from that opening match, which I did like. I liked that a lot. But sort it out. Fuck.
Yeah, no, the first opening match had Gunther, so that was good. But I liked all the guys in that, and yeah, everything just feels all over the place. You're being over the top, sexy and horny, or whatever the fuck they're doing with all the mentions of sex and relationships and all that stuff. Cool, but then you're still being so like childish and stupid with so many gimmicks. It's literally them throwing shit at the wall to see what works, and it's on TV every week, and it's still 2 hours. It's still actually on TV. The ratings will just chill wherever they go up and down in these weird things. Like, it's just, what is going on? It's like a shitty kids TV show, but wrestling, and it's so ridiculous. And you know what I really hate? We haven't talked about this really. It's these the fake boards in the crowd that make it look like there's more people than there actually is, and the fake popped in noise. Yeah. I cannot stand this. I saw the clip of Ronda Rousey on Raw, and they added in so blatantly, so obvious, and it looks like and sounds like shit. But when they do it here, there's like fucking 100 people in this room, and you're gonna make it sound like there's 40,000. Get fucked. It looks like it just looks like a whole complete mess of this show. I want this show to be 1 hour again. There's just no. Look at how many segments happened on this show. Like, my notes for this are insane. And like, what even fucking happened on this show?
I know.
We got a sleepy lady. We got a singing lady now. We got Sailor Moon. We got a guy grinding hard. We got dick jokes, SpongeBob jokes. Like, it's just all over the place.
There were 7 matches on this show, and
what?
I could name you 2 of them. I'm fine with a 2-hour show, but like, give me maybe 4, like 3 matches of decent length and a squash, maybe, and then and just, you got to trim down. Like, I do think they've had the balance right in the last few weeks, and just get way too many just bombardment of these vignettes and terrible acting. And I'm going to beat this drum so many times. Why, like, if your vision of wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever, is you want to make a soap opera that features wrestling. That's what I feel WWE wants to be. That's Vince McMahon's vision, is a soap opera which features wrestling. Why are you not teaching these people how to fucking act? And why are you not hiring people who can fucking write? Because it's abysmal. This is on TV, it's insulting. Like, do what you're good at. I don't mind watching, like, I find it quite enjoyable watching NXT from 2013, and you see people and you go, oh, they're kind of green in the ring, but they're promising, and they're working with these veterans who can get good stuff out of them. And we have seen that with your likes of, I mean, I think Bron Breakker is absolutely thriving. I think I really enjoy watching him every week. And I've enjoyed stuff I've seen from, like, Edris and Malik Blade in the ring. I think there are talented people in this roster, but you're doing them such a disservice by putting them out there to do these fucking school plays, acted terribly, written terribly, for 2 hours. And then it's not even 2 hours. They take the overrun. It's 2 hours, 8 minutes. Like, it doesn't need to be that. It's this week got me down.
So we need to let the hate flow through you, brother. You got to, this show is not good by wrestling standards, by just TV standards. Like, flipping through the channels, I'm like, man, this is, anyone tuning into this would be like, what the fuck is this? This is trashed. Just at certain things happening in the show. And it's not just because I miss the old way. There are lots of stuff on this show that could be good. Like the wrestling, there's still people that are there. Cora Jade, I think, is a future star. Diamond Mine, they turned that into something that could be potentially pretty big for the company. I even am a fan of Bron Breakker, minus the name. And there's stuff that is working, and they still seem to just add more filler and these gimmicks. And it's just like, it's literally like, what other gimmicks can we add? Okay,
it's not the talent's fault, and I think that's what's really sad. It's all these people, like, they're there for a reason, and they're all of different levels and stuff, and I'm sure all of them are working really hard and things like to get good, but they're just given such a disservice by what they're given. There's none of this Paul Heyman, accentuate the strengths and hide the weaknesses, is there?
Well, I mean, they gave Von Wagner a manager, so.
Okay, so that, and maybe Bron, and maybe that's working. But apart from that, it's, this Brooks Jensen, what, do they think he's Leonardo DiCaprio? Why do they keep on having him act? Be like, you know what, maybe we're not going to have you talk for a few weeks, but we'll put you in a few tag matches or 6-man tag matches so we can you can get more comfortable in the ring. We'll work on you a bit more in promo class, and then we might put you back on the mic. But no, it's like, no, let's continue this love story that no one cares about. It's awful.
Yeah. On it, like, again, it's developmental. It feels like it's this like C, D, Z level show in the world of wrestling, when it used to be a super hot product, especially for a lot of the smart fans. And it's just really interesting watching what has happened to it. I don't listen to a lot of wrestler interviews, but I saw that Red Dragon did Talk Is Jericho last week. So I listened to that, and you can hear the responses from Kyle and Bobby, but more so Kyle because he was there a little bit longer. It was pretty much like not even the talent was like told of these things. It just basically happened, and then you basically had to assume position and just get ready to be royally fucked or fired or whatever. So it was quite interesting. And it's just like, what are you doing? Turn it back into 1 hour, put it back on the network or Peacock or whatever, and do that, because it's just so. Well,
they're not going to. Weird. They've got a contract, unless sure. USA don't want to. That they've got 2 hours. This is the commitment. So it's how best to use that 2 hours of TV, and they're not using it well.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, WWE is still making so much money, shit tons of money, and I guess in their eyes they're doing quite fine. But yeah, as a fan of this stuff, I just like, this is a show that I just hate watching. This was definitely one of the one of the bad episodes of NXT 2.0, just because it had so much gimmicks and stuff. I'm so over it already. When I watch other stuff and even the Royal Rumble, I still enjoyed the event as a whole. But like when I watch Dynamite, it makes me go, man, I fucking love this shit. It makes you want to show people who don't watch this stuff or talk about it with your friends. Like watching this show is just like, it's not even fun enough to harp on it as much because it's just so bad. It's just so bad. It's like, how does no one come out here? Don't they have like look, when I order Domino's, it has a thing that says, hey, we're making the pizza. And then they got a guy who checks the pizza, right? What's the guy do? He checks the pizza. When you order Domino's, it says, hey, he's making sure the quality check. Yeah. They need that before you send it to the delivery driver. You need the quality check, and this show ain't passing that for weeks. So that was NXT.
Well, let's go to some feedback. See if maybe we're just being negative Nancy's or whether you feel the same. We always put up feedback on the upNXT Facebook group, which we encourage you all to join, and on the Post Wrestling forum. And we start with Corey, who says, so a lot of destruction tonight on NXT, between Gigi and JC going missing, being kidnapped, to Mandy being terrorized by foodstuffs. Not a good week for Toxic Attraction. But then Wild got murdered by Ciampa, so maybe they got off easy. Sarray's new look tonight was pretty great, and now I hope she's the one to dethrone Mandy for the title. Maybe it was just perception, but Sarray felt taller as well watching her tonight. No Io tonight, but understandable. There are folks speculating she's going to be part of the rumoured cuts later this week, but I doubt that. Probably didn't have anything for her. Her and Dakota put on a great dark match last Friday, though, and despite it only being a few minutes long, Io had the fans at the SmackDown taping eating out the palm of her hand.
Wow, interesting. I mean, yeah, I thought we would be seeing Io possibly in the Royal Rumble, but again, no NXT talent whatsoever. Yeah, she's doing dark matches and stuff. I think it would be silly for them to miss this opportunity with the star that they have with her. I know I've talked highly. I'm just a big fan, but selfishly, as this guy who likes watching all the other stuff in the wrestling world, how crazy would it be if she could wrestle other people in other places, go back to Stardom? Kyrie could be wrestling again with her and all sorts. But I see Io being a big money-making tool, and I don't know why they haven't kind of gone with it. At least try.
I think she'll be up soon. I could see her being. I could see her being like a Raw after Mania kind of deal. I think when it comes to women, size isn't as big an issue as it is with the guys. So, and I would hope, I think kind of, especially during the pandemic, you saw Asuka just really, it started working on the main roster. And I hope something like that would make Vince kind of not be as pessimistic about a foreign talent like Io. I can see her totally working. And honestly, for all WWE's faults, it still probably does have one of the best women's rosters out there, and I would like to see her mix it up with, your Charlottes, your Beckys, your Baileys, your Sasha. Yeah, there's still a lot of dream matches to do there as a fan. I mean, we got Satomura in NXT UK. I want to see her versus Sasha, her versus Io. There's so many things you could do with that as well. And I mean, I guess if people want to see some wrestling, they can watch NXT UK because they have some pretty good wrestling on from now and again. But yeah, sorry, that was Corey who wrote in here. Let's go to Todd, who writes in. I was dominating a continent while you were slipping on your ass at WrestleMania and sucking off the face of Otis. I was fucking dead. Blade in an off-face segment was pretty funny too. So Todd liked the dig Kaylee Ray gave to Mandy Rose here. And then I see one more here from Sean, if you want to read. Yeah, Sean says that he tries to keep it positive with 2.0 and thinks they've had a good run recently. The opening 6-man and the main event were great. How could they not be with the talent involved? But in between those matches, it seemed like Bruce and company kicked over the whole box of gimmicks. Got a kidnapping, food fight, boner, and all somehow involving the NXT Women's Champion. Sleepy Wendy Chu, Sarray Potter, and the blinking magical clothes changing amulet. Daddy's girl Tiffany and her credit card. Persia trying to slide into Duke's DMs. Jensen hitting up Dexter Lumis for seduction techniques, and an R&B singer. And they keep letting Trick Williams talk. Stop it. It's actually making Mello a worse promo. Think Raquel and Cora might have had a good match, but it was hard to tell with my feed blacking out due to what I can only assume was wardrobe malfunctions. Yeah,
mine did too.
Yeah, we had blackouts over here as well. If NXT 2.0 is going to continue to rely in all these gimmicky gimmicks, they need to find a better way of balancing them against the more straightforward talent. Hopefully a return to the Dusty Cup next week. Why did they skip a week? Will lead to a better show, because tonight was exhausting.
Yeah, I agree with you there and some of the things you wrote in. But I see someone else has written some feedback in on the Post Wrestling forum, forum.postwrestling.com. And it is A1, Andrew Thompson, who writes in, Sarray's split personality is leading to the mixed match challenge team with herself and Damian Priest. They're going to be called Cult of Personality. And then he ends with, Neil is some shit. Up next, Mania kickoff show, Thompson versus Trader Neil. He looks like a polite Jason Statham. Wow. Man, this guy's throwing his fucking shots in early here.
I like how Andrew's like, hey, I'm not going to make it to the main show, but kickoff, can I just aim for that? I just want to be on the kickoff show. A lot of rivalries ignited at the upNXT Rumble, so do go back and check that out.
Imagine it's like the Rumble just happened in WWE, and we know Mania is like in a few months, but someone on Raw just shows up and is like, hey, Sunday Night Heat in 3 months, I'm challenging you to a match. That's what's going to happen. Andrew Thompson had a great showing in the upNXT Rumble. Of course, check out all his interviews from Post Wrestling and stuff, but he had a great showing, as did a lot of you guys, a lot of you listeners and friends and everyone in there. There were some crazy moments in the upNXT Rumble. You could do a whole show reviewing that show, because it was interesting. It was a lot more fun than this week's NXT.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. I'll tell you that for free. That's it.
That's it.
We can go to sleep now. Guys, I appreciate you listening to us. We felt like we were pretty down on NXT, but NXT was pretty down on us, you know? That's just the way it goes. Follow us on Twitter at upNXT Podcast for all the updates about shows and the schedule and all that stuff. And the Facebook group, there's a page and a Facebook group that you can join and like and all that stuff. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give us a nice little like, subscribe, or 5-star review or whatever, and all that stuff. Every like and RT is always appreciated, because it is the first of the month. Well, second now. And all these new podcasts coming out on our Patreon. Patreon.com/upNXT. So many podcasts, so much of the BDE, and we would like to be in your ears all month long. And is there anything else you'd like to say, David?
Nope.
That's it. Well, it's like 9 a.m. where you're from now, so you're going to go.
It's almost sunrise. Yeah, it's 5:20.
Well, that's it. That's all. I myself, Braden Herrington. I'm on Twitter, Instagram. I'm at @TheBrady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And I am the cake.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.